Welcome to Jadda's Craft Cottage. Today we're going to make these cute and easy cloth wallets. They have two pockets. You can use them for gift cards, crochet hooks, pencils. They're fun to make. You will need two fat quarters. Those are 18 inches by 22 inches. Contrasting colors or coordinating fabrics. Some fusible stabilizer or fusible interfacing, and some snaps or Velcro. I prefer the snaps. You will also need scissors or rotary cutter, a ruler, an iron, chopsticks or a boning tool, and a sewing machine. The first thing you're going to do is iron your fat quarters. With these fat quarters, you can make two of these little wallets. For the lining, I'm going to cut this fabric 8.5 inches by 19. Right now I'm using the long way of the fat quarter, which is the 22 inches, so I can get my 19 inches out of it. And this ruler just happens to be an 8.5 inch ruler. So I'm just going to slice it with my rotary cutter, and it has a nice clean slice. Move it up. I will cut it to 19 inches. So the yellow will be my lining for the first part. For the exterior part of it, we're going to cut this fabric 8.5 inches by 15 inches. So I'm going to line this up. Again, I'm using my 8.5 inch ruler, so it's easy for me to cut. Again, you can use, with these two fat quarters, you can make two of these little cloth wallets. Again, the exterior is 8.5 inches by 15. So the inside of your fabric will always be larger than your outside of the fabric. Now we're going to cut the interfacing, and it's fusible, and you can tell by the fusing, the back side or where the glue is has a rough texture on it, where the other side does not. Want it to be 18 3/4 inches by 8 inches. Again, this is going to be for your lining. And then the other one will be 8 inches by 14 3/4 inches. So we're going to do I cut this already at the 14 3/4 inches. So now I'm just going to do the 8 inches, cutting it here. You want to iron the interfacing to the back side of your fabric. Now this fabric is the same on both sides, so it really doesn't matter, but there are some fabrics that you do see what the front and the back are. It is just a little bit less than the size of the fabric itself. If you need to, you can always put a pressing cloth over it and press the fabric so it doesn't get on your iron. For the lining, we're going to line the edge of the fabric to the end of this ruler, and I'm going to fold it over to where it comes to 11. I want 11 inches on here, and I'm going to try to make the fabric as straight as possible, and then I'm going to crease it. Then I'm going to fold it back so that it meets the fold, just like this. And then we're going to also add a little bit, about an inch, where we fold it one more time. And then we press it like that with our fingers. So I'm going to try to show you one more time. It is, we start off here. We're going to fold over to where the 11-inch mark is. And I'm going to crease it at 11 inches. Just like this. Then I'm going to fold it back to where the fold is and crease this other edge. Now we're going to fold one more inch coming down this way. I will now press this so it's nice and crisp on all the edges that I finger pressed. For the outside of this wallet, we're going to fold it up to the 7-inch mark. I put this at the edge of my ruler, and I'm going to fold it all the way to the 7-inch mark. I'm going to put a crease in it, and then fold that back so it matches the folded edge here. I'm going to show you this again because this can be a little confusing. It's at the edge of the ruler. I'm folding it up to 7 inches right here. And I'm going to put a crease in it. Now I'm going to fold it back so that it will become 3.5 inches at the part here. And so you're making sure that the raw edge is hitting the folded edge, and then we're going to crease it, and then I'm going to also press it down. If everything goes well, these should match up to be the same size. Now this is what's going to be the tricky part here. You've got a flap here, and you've got this 1 inch right here. So you're going to flip these over so that it hit the folded edge is on the down here, and then you're going to put this so it overlaps on top of this bottom flap here. Now we're going to fold this down, and hopefully all of this will match up. If it doesn't, don't worry about it too much because you're going to use the sewing machine and you'll sew around this. With some straight pins, I'm going to just attach all these pieces of the fabric together so it won't move when I start sewing it. Trying to get it as close to the edge as you can. So on this side we have the folded edges, and on this side we have just 2 of the loose edges. They're the raw edges. When we start to sew, we're going to be sewing all the way down from here, starting at this point and going all the way up here and then across and then down. That would make a square purse or wallet. I'm going to use my plate and I'm going to curve the edges, and I'm going to try to get the curves where they hit the 1/4 inch. So now I'm going to start to sew here and go right here, just one continuous stitch. We're going to back stitch this by putting my needle down, and then I'm going to go up a couple of stitches and then back a couple of stitches, and then I'm going to follow my little line. Try not to go over your pins because that will ruin your needle. When you get to the end, you're going to do a couple of back stitches also here to tack it down. You're going to trim around the edges here. You can use your scissors or you can use a rotary cutter. You're now going to take and turn this inside out. Go to the colored area and turn it so the right sides are going to be out. Take your boning tool and get the curves at the very edge. Smooth that all around. Now this should lay down here. This is the flap of the other side. So now we're going to take the back side, and this is going to be our another pocket, and we're going to put that in there. Go through the bottom side and get those pointed pieces in. Now we're going to press this. You want to make sure you pull your fabric towards your lining so you don't see the lining on the outside. Now it helps me when I'm making this. This is my 15-inch for the outside fabric, and I made a template of it. So I could say this is 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 15 inches. And then the other one is for the 19 inches and where I do the folds. So if you can do that, that will help you out also. So make a paper one first before you start your main project. You can either put a piece of Velcro on the back of this and attach it like that, and you'd have to sew it on, or you can maybe put a button there, or you can do what I'm going to do is use these snaps. Now the snaps are plastic snaps with a little nail in it. This is an outie and this is an innie, so it's going to connect inside. Here's another one, outie and an innie. And so when you get your snap tool, it will tell you exactly what to do with it. I'm going to measure the distance on the top of the flap to find the middle, and at this point it looks like it's about 3.5 inches, and I'm going to go put a mark maybe about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of the inch up. I'm going to also kind of watch, and I'm just going to put a dot right on the next one so it's on the bottom of the flap. Now I'm going to take an awl and I'm going to poke right through it. So I have a hole in here, and I'm going to go from inside here and make another hole. I'm going to use, on the black, I'm going to use the yellow. So I'm going to put the nail part of it inside where the hole is, so it has poked right through. Then I'm going to take either one of these, inner or outies, and I'm going to lay it right on top of the nail, just like that. Now with this rubber tip, that's going to be where my nail goes in, and this other, the white tip, is where it's going to squish it together. So I'm going to get it right in there, try to get it nice and even, and then I'm going to press hard, and the snap is on there. So let's do the top. I did also remember I poked a hole in here. This time I want the nail to be on the top, and this was the inner, so I'm going to do the outie in here, and I'm going to do it the same way, where I use the cap part of it, the nail on the bottom, and I'm going to squeeze tight, and it should connect. So let's see how it snaps. You may have to take it a couple times to get it out, but it snaps nice like that, and it looks really cool. I'm now going to do the opposite one. I did 2 of these wallets, but I did it in reverse colors, because with a 1/4 yard or a fat quarter, you can do 2 of them. These plastic snap pliers can be purchased at any of the fabric stores, and they're by Dritz. They work really well. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. A day without sunshine is just an extra day for crafting, and I hope you enjoy making these cute little wallets.